first with mobile satellite news gathering, KSAT 12 News. Serving San Antonio and South Texas. Now, KSAT 12 News Tonight.
It caused more than $500,000 in damage and chased dozens of people from their hotel. A 4-alarm blaze in downtown San Antonio this morning may have been deliberately set. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm John Kirby.
And I'm Donna Parker. It looked like all of downtown San Antonio had erupted into flames. In fact, the fire destroyed just part of a downtown city block. But the heat from the 4-alarm blaze kept firefighters at bay for a while and generated thick columns of charcoal gray smoke that could be seen throughout the city. Almost 100 people were evacuated from a nearby hotel. We'll have that story in just a moment, but first, Kathy Teague with details of how this fire erupted.
It was horrible. It was outrageous.
Outrageous and unbelievable. It happened before San Antonio was ready to wake up. Shortly after 7, witnesses saw smoke coming from behind a local bar called Downtown SA.
And the fire was not real big. It could have been under control a long time ago, you know.
It was bad, and firefighters knew it. Within minutes, a 3rd alarm was sounded as the fire swept through the buildings using a common attic to find its way. The heat and flames forced firefighters to back off. Struggling through the heavy smoke, emergency crews from CPS rushed to cut off utilities to other buildings in the block. Firefighters also concentrated their efforts on saving structures not yet singed by the flames.
This building was already completely involved. We put all our energies on saving the other buildings. We didn't want to get any of our firemen hurt, and this is all we could do is just hold it to where that building was the only thing
built. Because of the common attic?
That common attic.
As a precautionary measure, a 4th alarm was sounded. It gave firefighters extra people to help evacuate a hotel nearby.
When we got outside, all we seen was nothing but smoke. We couldn't see nothing but smoke.
3 buildings burned to the ground: the bar, an adult movie theater, and a sandwich shop.
Completely gone.
Sanders' son told arson investigators a fire looked deliberately set.
I got a couple of fire extinguishers and went out there and put the fire extinguishers out on the building. It looked like it was going down pretty good, but a couple minutes later it was already spreading towards the roof, and it caught on pretty good.
Just 3 days ago, a dumpster behind the building burned at the hands of an arsonist. Downtowners say they were expecting something more to happen. They never dreamed, however, it would be this. Arson investigators may have to return to the scene several times to gather all the evidence to prove the fire was deliberately set. But from what they have right now, they say that may be the easiest part. Finding out who set it is the tough part. Kathy Teague, KSAT 12 News Tonight.
The residents of the Travelers Hotel were rudely awakened on this Sunday morning. The Travelers is located right next door to the burning buildings. And as the smoke began to drift through the hotel, the residents had to be moved out.
I was out like a light, but they knocked on my door and told me to get up.
There are about 90 people living in the Travelers. Firemen had to break down some room doors to make sure everyone had been evacuated. But with the help of the hotel staff, the Travelers was emptied.
As soon as the smoke got real thick, the alarms went off. You know, as soon as we could smell it, that's when the alarms went off.
And you began to evacuate people immediately?
Oh, we were evacuating them before the alarms went off even.
Most of the residents moved to a downtown church to wait the fire out. They stayed warm. Some had a bite to eat. 84-year-old Rosalyne Shamblin worried.
I presumed that everything in the hotel was burning, my money.
Some people refused to sit and just wait out the fire. They decided to open their downtown businesses and make a little money on this Sunday morning. Don Wilson has been a Travelers resident for 5 years. He was caught in the thick of the fire this morning.
The smoke was so thick on the street that you couldn't see until the wind shift came, and I'd get around behind the alley and go up and see what was burning. No problem.
But Don put his time away from the hotel to good use. He walked down the street and opened the store he manages, the Downtown Tobacco Bowl.
Do people buy cigarettes and cigars during a fire?
Yeah, they've been in.
Everything's okay, honey. I just checked your room.
After 3 hours away, residents were allowed back into the hotel. There were no injuries, and the building was not damaged. Now, a city council member says today's fire underscores the fact that the city must maintain the highest level of fire protection possible in the downtown area. District 1 City Councilwoman Maria Berriozabal arrived at the fire scene late this morning. She says with so many old buildings so close together downtown, it's a good thing the council insists on making inner city fire protection a top priority.
The council has been very good in the past. They have been very good about understanding that areas like the downtown and central city, highly dense areas do have the level of, should have a level of protection that's very high. And they have helped me in the past, the mayor and the council, to maintain the level of fire protection.
Mrs. Berriozabal says she'll continue to see downtown fire stations are protected from any cutbacks.
Yet another fire struck in a residential section of South San Antonio today. This two-story home in the 800 block of Saipan was destroyed, and fire officials estimate damage at $65,000. The owner of the home and the only occupant, Luis Morales, told authorities he wasn't home when the fire started, but a witness says he saw Morales emerge from the burning house. Arson says they're looking into it.
And if I recall, one of the guys at the office making the case against him as far as him making Molotov cocktails, and was caught while he was doing it, threatening the family with.
The owner, Morales, says he recently bought a new insurance policy on the house. And on the west side, an early morning fire destroyed this home. Firefighters were called to the 200 block of San Ignacio about 2:30 this morning. Flames were already shooting out the back of the house. Before they could douse the flames, $15,000 worth of damage had been done. No one was home at the time.